Concern. The Master's concern for others endured to the very end of his earthly life. During the afternoon of 27 November 1921, ʻAbdu'l-Bahá sent his friends to the shrine of the Bab to celebrate the Day of the Covenant. His family had tea with him. He received with his unfailing courtesy and kindness that same afternoon, and despite growing weariness, the Mufti of Haifa, the mayor, and the head of the police. That evening, he asked after the health of every member of the household, of the pilgrims, and of the friends in Haifa. Very good, he said, when told that none were ill. This was his very last utterance concerning his friends. Courtesy and graciousness. One day the Master, with one of his daughters, approached a native woman, dirty and almost savage-looking. Hers had been a hard life as the daughter of a desert chief. Though she was not a Baha'i, she quite naturally loved the Master, who was so genuinely kind. Lingering a moment, she bowed and greeted the Master. Kindly, he made reply, and, somehow knowing her need, pressed a coin into her hand as he passed by. Obviously, she was filled with appreciation. One of the Master's daughters told an observer that this woman had, in that brief encounter, said to the Master that she would pray for him, and graciously he had thanked her. At one time, enemies of the Master, covenant breakers who lived in the mansion next to the shrine, offered one of Baha'u'llah's cloaks and a pair of his spectacles to the governor of Haifa. They encouraged him to go and visit ʻAbdu'l-Bahá with the cloak on his shoulders and with the glasses. When he came, ʻAbdu'l-Bahá realized that he was wearing things which had belonged to his father, and he was deeply grieved. However, he did not say a word and treated the man with his usual extreme courtesy and love. That day passed, but the time came when that same governor was put in prison and in chains. It was ʻAbdu'l-Bahá who hastened to help and liberate him. After receiving such unexpected kindness, he begged for forgiveness, saying, "It was not my fault. Your enemies misled me into taking such a grievous step." Howard Colby Ives observed, "I have before spoken of his unfailing courtesy. It was really more than what that term usually connotes to the Western mind. The same Persian word is used for both reverence and courtesy. He saw the face of his heavenly Father in every face and reverenced the soul behind it. How could one be discourteous if such an attitude was held towards everyone?" The husband of ʻAbdu'l-Bahā's hostess in Dublin, who, while never becoming an avowed believer, had many opportunities of meeting and talking with the Master, when asked to sum up his impressions of him, responded, after a little consideration, "I think he is the most perfect gentleman I have ever known." Hospitality. In ʻAbdu'l-Bahā's household, in addition to himself, his wife, his sister, 2 married daughters with husbands and children, and his 2 youngest daughters, there were some orphan children and widows of martyrs. Mary Lucas observed that these serve in some capacity in the household, and the sentiment of love and equality in every member of this home is a living example for the world. Everything is done in the spirit of love. Corinne True recorded what she observed on an early pilgrimage. Arising early, I went into the living room where the master meets with his family every morning between 6 and 7 o'clock. The widow of one of the martyrs sits on the floor in the Persian style and makes and serves the tea every morning. Her husband was one of 3 brothers who were imprisoned for this cause. For days they had no news about them. One day they heard a great noise in the street, and looking out they saw 3 heads placed on long poles and being carried through the streets. And when in front of their home, they tossed these heads into their mother's room. She wiped them off with water and then threw them back, saying, "What I have given to God I will not take back." This woman who makes the tea had been married only 1 year to one of these brothers. Having lost all of her relatives through the persecution, and Persian women having no openings for self-support, the master took her into his household. What a wonderful household this is! Over 40 people living here in one home, some black, some white, Arabic, Persian, Burmese, Italian, Russian, and now English and American. Not a loud command is heard, and not one word of dispute, not one word of fault-finding. Everyone goes about as if on tiptoes. When they enter your room, their slippers are left before the door, and they come in with stocking feet and remain standing until you invite them to sit down. Another early pilgrim was aware of the bitter antagonism which ordinarily existed among the followers of different religious bodies. For example, a Jew and a Mohammedan would refuse to sit at meat together, a Hindu to draw water from the well of either. Yet, in the house of ʻAbdu'l-Bahá, we found Christians, Jews, Mohammedans, Zoroastrians, Hindus, blending together as children of one God, living in perfect love and harmony.